Hollywood boss fired as entire Paramount TV studio shuts down. Coming from The Wrap, Paramount Television Studios to shut down due to significant changes in TV marketplace. The move is part of the media giant's broader restructuring plans ahead of its merger with David Ellison's Skydance Media. This is not the Paramount movie studio. This is their entire television operation, though. And it was a significant business. They did have a president. They hired this president in 2018, Nicole Clemens, named president of Paramount TV. But were they really focused enough on what people actually wanted? Paramount is going through massive layoffs right now. From The Hollywood Reporter, Paramount to cut 15% of U.S. workforce in major layoff plan. When a big company cuts 15% of their workforce, it's not like it's going to be equal across every office. They're going to have major divisions shut down, and those people are getting let go. And the reason that happens is when you've got a studio like Paramount, they also own the CBS network. So they can take their television office at CBS and take their television office at Paramount TV and just say, well, who's more competent? Who's producing things we actually can sell? Where do we have our biggest investments already? And then just shut down the division that's not as big or effective. The only reason to keep two separate studios, two separate television divisions, like when Disney has multiple studios producing multiple kinds of movies, is that you don't want to lose the flavor, the quality, the strength of that organization in that one division. Otherwise, you could throw all the companies together, get much less expenses because you don't need two presidents, you don't need two executive teams, you don't need two gigantic accounting departments. If you can just fire everybody and just keep one smaller office running. That's what Paramount is doing. Disney has multiple divisions like this in film and in television, but Paramount's going first. Paramount Television Studios shut down due to significant changes in TV marketplace. Paramount Television Studios will cease operations by the end of the week as part of a long-term strategic plan being carried out by George Cheeks and Chris McCarthy. When a big company shuts down a division and they say, hey, we're going to be shutting this whole division down by the end of the week, that's basically crazy. That's nearly unheard of. It's not a normal thing. If you have a small company might say, hey, look, we can't really keep going on. We have to close this thing down. I'm sorry about that. We're going to pay everybody at the end of the week, but now the business is closed. For Paramount to be closing down its entire TV division and firing its president, they've really made a clear decision. They don't want to be in that business anymore. That's also humiliating for employees, and for the employees that deserve it, good for them. But there are a lot of people that don't deserve it. They're just normal people kind of trying to do their job. So this isn't like great news, but it's good news that for a company that didn't focus on trying to do things to please their customers, but were focused too much on ideology, focused too much on diversity. For example, they tried to course correct a year ago. From August 2023, diversity tested at Paramount TV as 13 people of color exit in 2 years. Well, they may have actually found other jobs and been lucky to have been let go, because even the president of the company, Nicole Clemens, right now is out of a job. The productions that Paramount TV was working on that they want to keep are going to be moved over to CBS. So the productions will continue, but the employees and the management team will not continue. Shutting down the whole division by the end of the week with giving people like no notice is out of this world. Going forward, all current PTVS series and development projects, such as Prime Video's Cross and Apple TV's Before and Murderbot, will transition to CBS Studios. What gender they'll be after they transition, we don't know. Quote, to be clear, this is not a decision based on how PTVS performed. This move is the result of significant changes in the TV and streaming marketplace and the need to streamline our company. According to Cheeks, who wrote this in an internal memo to staff on Tuesday. It's Tuesday. We're out of business by Friday. Good luck finding another job. They did that this week. It's really incredible. Quote, I want to thank PTVS President Nicole Clemens and the talented team she built for the many signature hits they produced. Under Nicole's leadership, this studio consistently punched above its weight in attracting top storytellers and stars to create best-in-class series. I want to thank every PTVS employee for shepherding a slate of shows that helped usher Paramount into the streaming era. Just between you and me, and please don't repeat this, if Nicole Clemens was really good at what she was doing, they would have made a deal with her to continue with her. Even just a producing deal, if not an executive deal, which is to say, she'd be putting together content that they could then offer through CBS, or maybe she could do movie work for them, whatever it would be. But typically in Hollywood, when someone is kicked out the door, even when you kick them out the door and you don't really like them, they do offer them some kind of a production deal to have kind of a working relationship, because reputation does matter. And it's kind of one hand washing the other. It's not a usual thing to say, hey, we appreciate this person so much, and by the way, we're never going to work with them again. I mean, they didn't say they're not working with her again, but they certainly didn't say how they intend to work with her again. They give off the impression that her whole organization is being burned to the ground, and that the people being let go, including Nicole Clemens, don't have any real commercial value, or if they did, they'd be talking about how they already plan to move them to CBS TV or another place in their pretty vast company. And don't be fooled. If Nicole Clemens or other executives were hit machines over at Paramount TV, while they still might have closed Paramount TV, they would have had like an imprint or a label or a little division over at CBS TV to keep that team together so they could keep making hits. So it's nice to say nice things about people, but money talks, deals talk, and if they're not announcing a deal working together, they don't like what she was doing. In her own memo to staff, Clemens pointed out that it had been a challenging and transformative time for the entire industry, and sadly, our studio is not immune. She also highlighted Paramount TV Studios projects like 13 Reasons Why, The Offer, Defending Jacob, The Alienist, The Haunting of Hill House, Station 11, Time Bandits, Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan, Reacher, and the Spiderwick Chronicles as their accomplishments. Quote, over the past 11 years, PTVS has weathered seemingly insurmountable obstacles through a combination of strength, determination, and unwavering commitment. We met these challenges with incredible resilience, creativity, and passion for what we do, and I could not be prouder of our team, she wrote. Also, if anybody knows of a job, please give her a call or drop an email. Quote, we've also had the privilege to collaborate with some of the most brilliant creative talent in the industry to help tell incredible stories seen around the world, entertaining and shaping culture. This has been the most formative chapter of my career, and that is mainly due to the remarkable colleagues I have had the honor to lead and learn from on a daily basis. Thank you for supporting me, inspiring me, and laughing with me for the last 6 years. I wouldn't have wanted to be in the trenches with anyone else. I want to thank George Cheeks for his leadership and support through it all. There will undoubtedly be some tears as we move on, but this business is a marathon, and I'm certain that we will cross paths, if not work together again. Well, they're not going to work together again at CBS, and that's unfortunate because they just don't value her and her team's work. There's really no other way to say it. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to tell you the way it is inside of a department so you get some extra insight. In addition to the closing of Paramount Television Studios, as if that wasn't enough, Cheeks noted that members of CBS teams would also be departing the company. Quote, these are valued colleagues we admire and respect, whose talents contributed to the leadership position we enjoy today. I want to express my deepest gratitude for their contributions, hard work, and dedication, he wrote. As we move forward, please keep these coworkers in your thoughts as our HR teams and their teammates help support them through this process. The HR teams are there to help them transition to maybe even another job because they are firing many, many people, at least like around 1 out of 6 so far. That's what 15% approximately is. There's no reason to think that once they make these massive cuts, they won't consolidate again. That's a normal thing to do. Paramount is telling people these layoffs are going to be concluded by the end of September. That's also a severely aggressive schedule. It means they've made big decisions about how they want to reorganize the company, but the only way to do that is this mass elimination of divisions where they don't really even consider keeping the people in a new position, but pretty much focus on just closing down massive numbers of offices and then sharing work over to other offices that already know how to do the work. Because a layoff like this, a layoff of this size, this is like equivalent to a bankruptcy. But they don't, even a bankruptcy in a corporation doesn't really move this fast. There's a strategic plan that has to exist somewhere that explains why and exactly how they're able to do this over the course of less than 2 months. The only way to do it is this massive consolidation, close these duplicative offices, and in some cases completely exit certain businesses. For example, if they had some kind of restaurant division and they said, you know what, we're going to get out of the restaurant business, so we're letting everyone go. That could happen. But it's not like Paramount has that exactly. We'll have to see how it develops. And I'll continue to cover it on this channel. Paramount's layoffs are expected to impact 15% of its total U.S. workforce, with 90% of the cuts expected to be completed by the end of September. The move, which is part of $500 million in previously announced cost cuts, will focus on redundant functions and streamlining corporate teams. Previously announced areas that will be impacted include marketing and communications, finance, legal, technology, and other support functions. Sometimes what a company will do also is close a division and then just outsource it, give it to another company to handle whatever that service is. That $500 million is part of $2 billion in planned cost cuts associated with Skydance Media's pending merger with Paramount Global. The $8 billion deal is slated to close in the third quarter of 2025, subject to regulatory approval and other customary closing conditions, which is completely normal. In connection with the $500 million, Paramount expects to incur a restructuring charge of around $300 to $400 million in the third quarter, which means it's going to cost them that much in severance and other related expenses just to get rid of those people. But if they don't need those people, they should be getting rid of those people. Quote, there's a lot of news to unpack today. I know it's unsettling, Cheeks' memo concluded. I continue to be impressed and grateful for our team's ability to stay focused and stick together during this transitional time. Anyone who still works at this company, if you can hear my voice, I don't think this company is doing so good. And I do think there's a good chance there are going to be a lot more layoffs. There's also no way to guarantee that you're going to be safe. According to the co-CEOs, whatever they call themselves, Cheeks and his friends, they're openly making a claim that Paramount TV getting shut down had nothing to do with the quality of their work. Why would anyone want to work somewhere if it's true? Like, yeah, I did a great job on my work, but they don't even want to keep me at the company. This company is so mismanaged that you can't even build a career where you're successful at your job. There is a lot of upheaval in companies. There's a lot of upheaval specifically in entertainment, but still, this is really out of bounds. In addition to the cuts, Paramount has hired bankers to help the company with possible asset sales. The company is also in active discussions about potential strategic partnerships or joint ventures. When they hire bankers for potential asset sales, that is selling a piece of the company to a new buyer who will then also go ahead and make their own cuts to the company. This is very treacherous, and they've even been talking about selling CBS. The Wrap exclusively reported that Paramount sold the comic book and pop culture websites to Nashville-based Savage Ventures for an undisclosed amount. 4 individuals familiar with the co-CEO's plans previously told The Wrap that other possible assets could be put up for sale, including Pluto TV, BET, VH1, and the Paramount lot, which would be leased back for the studio's use. Robbins, McCarthy, and Cheeks' plan comes in an effort to accelerate streaming profitability, which Paramount is currently on track to reach domestically in 2025. During the second quarter of 2024, Paramount's direct-to-consumer division swung to its first-ever streaming profit of $26 million, compared to a loss of $424 million in the year-ago period. However, executives warn the direct-to-consumer segment is expected to generate losses in the third and fourth quarters of the year due to the timing of content expenses. And that's also how these companies massage their numbers. Oh, it's content expenses. Well, don't you have an average amount that you spend on content anyway? Don't you average out the cost over time like most normal companies do? Paramount lost 2.8 million subscribers during the quarter for a total of 68.4 million, which primarily reflected the planned exit from a hard bundle agreement in South Korea. And that hard bundle deal is a deal where they're getting paid a certain amount for their content to participate in like almost a cable type of style bundle, where you get a few different channels. One of them is going to be the Paramount channel, but you get less money. If you're a streamer and you're doing that business, exactly the terms of all that, we don't know. And they also lost a lot of subscribers because people signed up just to watch the Super Bowl in the first quarter. But we expect Paramount Plus to return to net subscriber growth in the second half of the year as we benefit from a more consistent cadence of original content. according to their chief financial officer, who should know about things like that, Naveen Chopra. Quote, now that we're beyond the impacts of the strike, we also expect normalized international subscribers for the remainder of the year. Additionally, Paramount recorded a goodwill impairment charge of $5.98 billion for its cable networks, which resulted from a downward adjustment to the unit's expected cash flows from linear TV affiliates, as well as the estimated total company market value indicated by the Skydance merger. So that goodwill charge of $5.98 billion is a loss. It's them saying, well, our businesses are not worth what we said they were even yesterday. Because cable businesses are falling apart. People aren't signing up for cable anymore. People are canceling their cable. So if you're a cable company and you're selling cable service or you produce shows for cable, those companies are worth less than they were just a couple of months ago, even just a couple of days ago practically. And Paramount stock is down by 31% over the past year. Hollywood studio executives have their back up against the wall. Unless they've been superstars, unless they've been able to produce things that are actual hits, their jobs are all in jeopardy. It's not just over at Paramount. It's everywhere. There's a new game in town. They've got to focus on producing things people actually want, or they're going to get themselves shut down. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another story. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.